The world watches with bated breath. Tensions rise between nations. Leaders exchange heated rhetoric. These are not scenes from a distant past, but stark reminders of our present reality. The potential for nuclear conflict, once a fading memory of the Cold War, has returned to the forefront of global consciousness. The reasons for this renewed anxiety are complex and multifaceted. The breakdown of international arms control agreements, the emergence of new nuclear states, and the rise of nationalism and political instability all contribute to a climate of fear and uncertainty. The stakes have never been higher. Nuclear weapons represent the most destructive force ever created by humanity. Their use, even on a limited scale, would have catastrophic and long-lasting consequences for our planet and all life on it. In this era of renewed nuclear danger, it is more important than ever to understand the history of these weapons, the threats they pose, and the steps we can take to prevent their use. The future of humanity may very well depend on it. The story of nuclear weapons begins with the splitting of the atom. In 1938, scientists achieved nuclear fission, unlocking the immense energy stored within the nucleus of an atom. This breakthrough, while a triumph of scientific ingenuity, would soon be overshadowed by its military applications. Driven by the urgency of World War II, the United States embarked on a top-secret effort to build an atomic bomb. The Manhattan Project, as it was known, culminated in the successful test of the first atomic bomb in July 1945. Just weeks later, the United States used these devastating new weapons against the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, effectively ending World War II, but ushering in the atomic age. The world watched in horror as the true destructive power of nuclear weapons became terrifyingly clear. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki remain a stark reminder of the human cost of nuclear war and serve as a powerful motivator for all those who seek to prevent their use. In the aftermath of World War II, the United States held a monopoly on nuclear weapons. This short-lived period of nuclear dominance quickly gave way to a multipolar world as the Soviet Union, the United Kingdom, France, and China developed their own nuclear arsenals. This proliferation of nuclear weapons, driven by a complex web of political, ideological, and security concerns, created a dangerous new dynamic in international relations. The Cold War, marked by an intense nuclear arms race between the United States and the Soviet Union, brought the world to the brink of nuclear annihilation on multiple occasions. Today, 9 countries possess nuclear weapons: the United States, Russia, the United Kingdom, France, China, India, Pakistan, Israel, and North Korea. The desire for status, security, and regional dominance continues to drive the pursuit of nuclear weapons, raising concerns about further proliferation and the potential for these weapons to fall into the wrong hands. Imagine a world where every nation, no matter how small or unstable, possessed the power to unleash nuclear annihilation. This scenario, once relegated to the realm of dystopian fiction, deserves careful consideration as we grapple with the challenges of nuclear proliferation. Universal nuclear armament would fundamentally alter the geopolitical landscape, creating a world of heightened tension, mistrust, and paranoia. The concept of deterrence, which relies on the fear of retaliation to prevent nuclear attack, would become increasingly complex and unreliable in a world with numerous nuclear-armed actors. The risk of accidental or unauthorized use of nuclear weapons would increase exponentially, as would the potential for these weapons to be acquired or used by terrorist organizations or other non-state actors. The very existence of such a world would be a testament to humanity's collective failure to address the root causes of conflict and violence. This hypothetical scenario, while frightening to contemplate, serves as a stark warning about the potential consequences of unchecked nuclear proliferation. Section 5. The Shadow of Fear, Living Under the Threat of Annihilation. The psychological impact of living under the constant threat of nuclear war is profound. During the Cold War, generations grew up with the knowledge that nuclear annihilation could come at any moment. The shadow of fear persists with the existence of thousands of nuclear weapons. However, it can also be a powerful motivator for action. Recognizing the shared threat can foster global solidarity and inspire efforts for a safer world. Section 6. the accidental apocalypse, miscalculation, and the fragility of peace. The history of the nuclear age is replete with close calls and near misses. Mechanical failures, communication breakdowns, and human error have brought the world perilously close to nuclear war. These incidents underscore the fragility of peace in a world armed with nuclear weapons. In 1983, Stanislav Petrov prevented a retaliatory strike by identifying a false alarm. The complexity of nuclear arsenals and potential cyber attacks raise new concerns. We cannot rely on chance alone to prevent the unthinkable. Section 7. A New World Disorder. The geopolitical fallout of global nuclearization. A world where every country possessed nuclear weapons would be a geopolitical nightmare. The delicate balance of power that has characterized international relations for centuries would be shattered, replaced by a chaotic and unpredictable new order. Traditional alliances would crumble as nations prioritize their own survival in a world of heightened nuclear danger. International institutions, already struggling to address global challenges, would be rendered largely ineffective in the face of widespread nuclear proliferation. The potential for conflict, both conventional and nuclear, would increase dramatically. Regional disputes, fueled by historical grievances, ideological differences, or competition for resources, could easily escalate into wider conflagrations, drawing in other nuclear-armed states. The very foundations of international order, based on principles of sovereignty, non-interference, and the peaceful resolution of disputes, would be undermined in a world where every nation possessed the ultimate weapon. The consequences for global stability, peace, and security would be catastrophic. Section 8. The long shadow of fallout, environmental and human costs. The environmental and human consequences of nuclear weapons are horrifying. Immediate effects include blast, heat, and radiation, causing widespread death and destruction. Long-term effects are even more terrifying. Nuclear winter would devastate agriculture, leading to famine and ecological collapse. Radioactive fallout would cause cancer, birth defects, and other health problems for generations. The consequences for future generations would be devastating and long-lasting. Section 9. Averting Armageddon. Strategies for a nuclear-free future. The threat posed by nuclear weapons is a global problem that demands a global solution. While there is no easy or straightforward path to a nuclear-free world, there are concrete steps that can be taken to reduce the risks and move toward a safer and more secure future. Strengthening international arms control agreements, such as the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, or NPT, is essential to preventing the spread of nuclear weapons to additional states. This requires a renewed commitment to multilateralism and a willingness to address the security concerns of all nations. Reducing the size and role of existing nuclear arsenals is another critical step toward a nuclear-free world. The United States and Russia, which possess over 90% of the world's nuclear weapons, have a particular responsibility to lead the way in disarmament efforts. Addressing the underlying causes of conflict, such as poverty, inequality, and political instability, is crucial to creating a more peaceful and secure world. This requires a long-term commitment to diplomacy, development, and the promotion of human rights. Section 10. The power of one individual responsibility in the atomic age. In the face of such overwhelming threats, it is easy to feel powerless. However, it is important to remember that every individual has a role to play in preventing nuclear war. Educating ourselves and others about the dangers of nuclear weapons is an important first step. The more people understand the stakes, the more likely we are to demand action from our leaders. Supporting organizations working to reduce the nuclear threat is another way to make a difference. Numerous non-governmental organizations are working tirelessly to promote disarmament, prevent nuclear terrorism, and raise awareness about the dangers of nuclear weapons. Contacting our elected officials and urging them to support policies that reduce the nuclear threat is another crucial step. Public pressure can have a powerful impact on government policy. The fight for a nuclear-free world is a marathon, not a sprint. It will require sustained effort, unwavering commitment, and the active participation of citizens around the world. But the stakes are too high to allow apathy or despair to win. Section 11. A call to action, choosing hope over fear in the nuclear age. The future of humanity hangs in the balance. The continued existence of nuclear weapons represents a clear and present danger to our planet and all life on it. The consequences of inaction are too dire to contemplate. We must choose hope over fear. We must choose diplomacy over destruction. We must choose cooperation over conflict. The task before us is daunting, but it is not insurmountable. We have the knowledge, the tools, and the moral imperative to create a world free from the threat of nuclear war. The responsibility rests on our shoulders to ensure that future generations inherit a world where peace, security, and justice prevail. Let us rise to the challenge of our time. Let us choose life over annihilation. Let us build a future where nuclear weapons are relegated to the history books, a testament to the folly of our past and a symbol of hope for a brighter future.